Hey Scorpio, welcome back to the Herb Lady. I hope you guys are doing well as can be, especially with all the changes that are taking place. Happy fall, you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for fall. I'm excited for upcoming Scorpio season, which is going to take place October 23rd of this year. And I don't know. I'm just, like I said in my previous video, I think I did say it, like the weekend, like the weekend says, I come alive in the fall time. So I'm definitely feeling the energies of fall. If you guys want to glean some more information on fall and the transitions that take place personally for us during fall, check out my Herb of the Month video. I touched briefly on why it is that fall is such a quintessential time of the year. And also the Herb of the Month, Damiana, which for any of you guys out there who suffer with social anxiety, with decreased libido, um, issues regarding vulnerability, which most of us Scorpios do. I never met a Scorpio who didn't. Then check out that video. It's gonna cover some awesome points on how Damiana benefits you with those particular ailments. And I'm sorry, the lighting in my room is kind of switching in and out. The sun is kind of coming and going between clouds right now. So one minute, I get the perfect lighting on my face. The next minute, I'm looking kind of crazy. But that's cool. So anyway, you guys, here's something really cool. So for what I'm going to do for the October readings, I'm changing up the spread a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and do what's called a planetary times spread. For any of you guys out there that are into astrology, you guys will love this spread. I do have this reading available on my Squarespace page. This reading typically runs for about $150, but I'm doing a special on it for the month of October. It'll be $55 for a planetary times reading. Now, unlike what I'm going to give you guys today, which is the general reading that just picks up on the transiting planets' energy and how it affects Scorpio sun signs, in a personal reading, it will apply particularly to your sun sign, your moon sign, your Mercury sign, so on and so forth. We will not only look at the natal sign, but also progress signs and see how that affects you guys. We don't, in the general, I only cover the sun all the way through Saturn, but in a personal reading, I cover the sun all the way to Pluto, and I cover how the North Node is impacting you guys, and I cover how Chiron and Lilith is impacting you guys. So it's definitely a reading worth checking out, especially if you guys want to learn some things about yourself and learn about how these planets are impacting your life and what advice that these planets, because planets give off energies, planets are deities and gods within themselves, and also planets have a huge impact on us being here on Earth, especially the sun. It nourishes us, it gives us life, it gives plants the will to grow. So that's definitely something that you guys may want to check out if you guys have the extra time and funds. So getting into the reading here, what I'm gonna do is I have my notes next to me, because I have only done this planetary reading a few times for a general reading, so I like to keep my notes near so that I don't miss any important points for Scorpio. And we're going to take this step by step. I'm going to explain each card and explain each card and why I'm pulling that particular card for that particular planet. Okay, Scorpio? So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to start this reading off with an encouraging message from the Universe Has Your Back deck. It's just going to be a message as food for thought. It's not necessarily going to be the overall theme of the reading. It's just food for thought for you guys, okay? All right. So I need one card for Scorpio sun signs. One card for Scorpio sun signs. Okay. All right, cool. So your card says, my capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. All right, so this is so important, literally tuning into the energy of love and allowing love to lead us in conversation and in our actions and how we proceed with others around us. Remember, it's like, I don't know for any of you guys that may have been particularly religious at any point in your life, but I remember one of the biggest things that was always said was never let the sun set on your anger. Never go to sleep in anger. Never allow anger to dwell, because it really does, it turns into resentment, and then it breeds unnecessary hatred and conflict. So it's like, literally, when we literally turn the whole process of our minds around to operate out of a place of love and to speak from a place of love, we're speaking from a place of genuine love, and out of love already grows respect, it grows compassion, and love creates the words, the proper words that are needed in order to get our point across without creating unnecessary conflict. So and then for us, it's empowering. Like I said, it's the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. When you call upon love, the energy of love, love will literally give you the power to come up out of a loss for words, out of a lost state of thought, out of a lost state of feeling. Call on love, and love will guide you. Okay? All right, so before I pull these tarot cards, let's go over a few transits that are happening right now. Like I said, for any of you guys who are into astrology, you guys kind of already know what I'm talking about. But for those of you that don't really do astrology like that, I'm going to just go ahead and let you know what's going on with our planets right now, what zodiac sign each planet is in, and what that means right now. I'm not going to give a whole explanation. I'm going to just, give you some basic knowledge. So right now we have the sun in Libra. That for everybody in Libra season, it's, birthday time for all the Libras. Once again, happy birthday to all my Libras out there. The sun is in Libra until October 23rd. After that, it will transition into Scorpio. Mercury, which is the scepter of communication, Mercury is in Scorpio until October 29th, and then it will transition into Libra. Venus is in Leo until October 3rd, then it will transition into Virgo. Mars is in Aries right now, and it's also Aries retrograde, which means that Mars is seemingly spinning backwards, but however, it's just spinning at a slower speed, which means that retrograde is always the time for reflection on all of the energies that we utilize during a direct transit of Mars. So retrograde is going to be Aries retrograde for the entire month of October. Jupiter is in Capricorn for the whole month of October, and Jupiter does not like being in Capricorn at all. Jupiter is in its fall in Capricorn. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Jupiter is the planet of gains, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Capricorn and Saturn is the planet of restrictions and limitations. So if you have a planet that represents expansion and gains, being in a sign that's ruled by a planet of restriction and limitations, yeah, Jupiter doesn't fuck with Capricorn at all. So it's in a planet, it's in a sign that it doesn't really like right now. Saturn is in Capricorn all month, and I believe I'm going to post this video before September 29th, but just in case I don't, Saturn goes direct September 29th. That means that Saturn is coming out of a retrograde, kind of like how I just said Mars is in a retrograde, and how I said retrograde periods is a time for us to reflect on the energy on those energies that we utilized during the time when the planet was going direct. So Saturn is coming out of that retrograde on September 29th. And it will be Saturn direct in Capricorn all October. Uranus is in Taurus retrograde all of October. Neptune is in Pisces retrograde all of October. Pluto is in Capricorn retrograde all of October. Okay? So those are our transits for the month of October, you guys. All right, so getting into the reading here, I'm going to start off with the first tarot card, which would be position number 1. And position number 1 is the sun. So with the sun being in Libra, we are going to pull a card to see how the sun in Libra is affecting us in our personal, is affecting Scorpio and their personal goals. Because remember, the sun represents our ego, our personal goals, who we really are on the definite, not on the surface level. That's the ascendant. The ascendant talks about what we present and what it looks like on the surface, but the sun is who we really are at the core of it. So with the sun transiting Libra, we pull a card to see how the sun in Libra is affecting us, our personal goals, and our ego. Okay? So that's what we're going to pull for the first card here. All right, so I need one card for Scorpio. One card for Scorpio. All right. Okay. Okay. So I pulled all 7 cards, but for Scorpio, the card that came out is the Devil. Now, as we know with the devil is Capricorn energy, that's ruled by Saturn. So right now, what the sun in Libra could be reflecting for us as far as personal goals and ego and self, the sun is actually putting us in a place where we are looking at our own ego, we're looking at our own energies, and we're looking at our own toxic traits. The sun may be shining light on our toxicity. It may be shining light on where we put restrictions on ourselves. It may be shining light on how we sabotage and restrict and further drag out processes that don't need to be sabotaged, restricted, or further dragged out. So with sun being in Libra, with this particular sun transit, we are being forced to look at certain habits, certain traits that go along with who we are and our ego. And it's going to be a pretty hard look in the mirror, because the devil is the one that literally brings all of that to the surface. It brings all of those traits to the surface. So what's probably going to happen is, with the light being shown on toxic traits, how that translates or manifests is that certain situations are going to come up for us during Libra season that's going to make us expose those not so pretty sides of us, that's going to make us take a step back and be like, whoa, why did I even respond like that? Like, I thought I was over that. I thought I was above that. Why am I even tripping on that? You're going to have a lot of moments like that. And what the sun is asking you to do, Scorpio, is to reflect in the light that's being shown on certain patterns and traits, especially patterns and traits that restrict and limit you. Okay? Socially, emotionally, whatever. Reflect on it. All right, so position number 2, or card number 2, is going to be the moon transits for the month of October and how it's going to impact Scorpio. So I don't do a particular moon in a certain sign, because the moon moves through each sign every 2 to 3 days. So within a span of a 28-day moon cycle, we have already moved through all 12 signs. So what I do is basically a general energy for how the moon transits will affect Scorpio for the month of October. And with the moon, we are talking about emotional energy. We are talking about personal home life, private home life, all of those things that, not quite eighth house. Eighth house is everything that's behind closed doors, underneath the surface. Fourth house, as far as the moon is ruled by the fourth house, Cancer. Fourth house, it just talks about literally just your private home life, your own inner emotional workings. So that's what we're looking at to see how these moon transits is affecting Scorpio's inner emotional workings. And for that, we have the moon in reverse. All right, so it looks like, and even like the moon, the fact that you guys have Capricorn, the devil, which is Capricorn energy, and then you have the moon, which is Cancer energy, Cancerian energy. It looks like literally with between your sun, yourself, and what you present, and your emotions, there is going to be conflict within your emotions. Your emotions are definitely going to be conflicted because of the fact that the sun is putting so much pressure on you to analyze toxic energy. So emotionally, you're going to feel thrown off as more and more of these traits become revealed to you as you transition more and more through difficult situations this month that expose the darker underbelly of who you are. It's going to make you feel very uncomfortable this month, and it's going to be a very eye-opening and revealing process. But the thing about the moon being in reverse, where the moon upright definitely is talking about secrets being kept, secrets being held onto, emotions being kept within, the moon in reverse in this case is going to be emotions spilled out. And just because emotions are going to be spilled out, Scorpio, that doesn't necessarily mean that, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be wearing your heart on your sleeve or everybody's going to be privy to how you're feeling. It just means that your emotions are going to come out and flow. You're going to definitely be at a beneficial time where you can get deeply in touch with your emotions to weed out all of those toxic traits and toxic energies that the sun in Libra transit is causing for you, Scorpio. Okay? Now, in a personal reading, for the personal planetary times reading, by this point for the moon transit, I would have pulled another card, which would have asked for clarity from ancestors plus the moon in order to see how Scorpio can wade these more difficult emotions. But because this is a general reading and we're talking about a collective energy, I'm going to keep it moving, okay? So we're going to go into position number 3, which is Mercury. Mercury literally is the ruler of the mind, communication, intellect, philosophical thoughts, and education. Also career to a certain extent. So with us pulling this card, what we are going to do is we're going to see the impact that the transiting Mercury is having on Scorpio. So like I said, Mercury is transitioning through Scorpio in October. So that means that Mercury is in our sign for the whole month of October, which means that we will be thinking in our element, we will be communicating in our element, which for everybody else will look like secrets and being very vague in the way that we speak, or being very vague in the way that we think, or keeping certain facts and keeping certain viewpoints to ourselves. And people may not appreciate that, but with us being ruled by the 8th house, which is a house of all the things unseen and beneath the surface, Scorpio, we know that sometimes we just have to function accordingly. Okay, so with me pulling this card, is I'm just gonna see how the transiting Mercury in Scorpio is going to affect sun sign Scorpio. All right. So you guys want to be careful not to take this to an extreme to where it's making you guys look purposefully secretive, where it's making you guys look inflammatory, where you don't want to be in a position where you're looking like you're doing this shit on purpose to torment or to, you know, keep another person in anticipation. You definitely don't want to use you don't want to be in poor communication this month, Scorpio. You really don't want to do that because you guys are already under a lot of pressure in terms of examining toxic energy. Your emotions are already, like, you're in a heightened emotional state. So you do not want to be in a place with the Nine of Cups in reverse for Mercury transiting Scorpio. It's definitely saying, like, you guys want to be as openly communicative as possible. Do not shut down. Do not use poor communication skills because it's definitely going to impact the emotional integrity of your relationships, friendships, familial relationships, significant others, relationships with significant others. You guys want to be very careful with how you communicate for the month of October, and you want to be as clear and open as possible. This is where I insert, go ahead and watch my video on Damiana, the herb of the month, and go get you some Damiana and sip on some Damiana tea all month because it sounds like you're going to need it, Scorpio. All right. So you guys, we're going into card number 4, which is the card for Venus. As we know with Venus is ruled by Libra. Venus is the ruler of love and relationships. So with us pulling this card, we are basically, and yeah, so Venus will be in Virgo for most of the month of October. So with us pulling this card, we are looking to see how the Venus in Virgo transit is affecting Scorpio's love life, and how it's affecting the Venetian parts of Scorpio's life. Which is basically me saying the same thing. How it's affecting your love life, basically. So, alright. So it looks like Venus and Virgo is causing Scorpio to have strength and endurance in their significant relationships. So I think that honestly this Venus and Virgo is going to be the saving grace for a lot of you Scorpios out here, especially going through that energy where you guys are having tumultuous sun energy. You're dealing with a lot of toxic energy here, and you're dealing with your own emotions. Your emotions are all over the place. You're in a place where your communication is feeling kind of compromised. It's very difficult for you to communicate on the right foot, as displayed with your Mercury transit card. So with Venus transiting Virgo, that puts you at a saving grace because it's showing that your relationships, in the sector of your relationships, Venus with Virgo, and Virgo being a very mundane, hardworking sign, is a sign that it's an earth sign. So it's stability. It doesn't seek the glamour of the relationship like Venus in a water sign or Venus in an air sign would do. It seeks the stability. So it's really saying that, you know, in your relationships, your friendships, your family relationships, you know, you guys are gonna have a benefit because even though everybody's gonna see you guys kind of showing your ass and dealing with toxic tendencies, they know who you are underneath all of it. So it will stand the test of time, but by no means take that as it's okay for you to be toxic. This is a time for you to reflect on your toxic energies and work through your shit, Scorpio. So, you know, Venus is saying that your relationships will survive this, but you gotta work through it because you can't keep your relationships under personal endurance for, you know, forever. You just can't. It doesn't work like that. All right. So going into position number 9, which is Mars. Mars is the ruler of war, aggression, conflicts, and challenges. And like we said, Mars is in Aries. Mars is at home right now. Mars is co-ruled by Scorpio and Aries. Scorpio is the more darker, feminine side of Mars. Aries is the masculine, light side of Mars, I suppose you would say. Mars, like literally with Mars being in Aries, it's all out war. Everything is out there on the table. With Mars being in Scorpio, everything is under the surface and it's still a fight. And to me, Mars in Scorpio is a much scarier Mars than a Mars in Aries, because at least with Mars in Aries, it's all in your face. Everything is in your face. However, with this transit, Mars in Aries retrograde, once again, you're in a reflection period, Scorpio. So now Mars is in, you're in a reflection period, but that doesn't mean the frustration is gone. So the frustration is still very much there. The feeling where you want to pounce, where you want to engage in conflict is still there, but because of the retrograde and the backspin motion, you guys are in a place where you are being where you're kind of like, you're being reined in. So you're literally like a horse that's ready to take off for the races, but you're being literally reined in and told to stop before you even get to 10. Okay, if that makes sense for you guys. So with this card, we look at how Mars transit is affecting the areas of your life that may have challenges, that may have conflict, where you're seeing extra amounts of aggression. So we're going to see how this Mars transit affects that. So it looks like, you know, 8 of Pentacles in reverse. It looks like you guys, just for the sake of your stability in the areas where you are experiencing a lot of conflict and tension and aggression, you guys are going to stop giving that energy for this transit. You guys just can't handle that right now. You cannot handle that shit right now. You already have a lot of other shit on your plate that you're personally going through. And of course, with the transits and how it's affecting Scorpio so far for the month of October, I think honestly, like, dropping the ball on whatever it is that is causing additional conflict for you guys is a wise choice for the month of October. Now, I can't say what you guys will do in November when Mars transits into Libra. I cannot say that, but I mean, you guys know what I mean. I can't say what you guys will do for November when the Sun transits into Scorpio and Venus transits into Libra. But, you know, as far as Mars will stay Aries retrograde. And I'm thinking until Mars goes back direct, you guys throughout this whole retrograde are just going to be in that place where you're deciding not to put work or energy into whatever the source is that's causing conflict for you guys. So it's just like, and that's literally for the sake of your stability, because even in this, it shows me that you're not putting work into the conflict and you're not putting work into the destructive energies because you're busy working on securing the bag. You're busy working on building a business or building something that is beneficial for you. You're busy literally tending your garden so that you can gain the rewards. And literally, it's like with a Mars retrograde, a lot of the time, to understand how you can benefit from such a malefic planet, you have to slow down and understand the energy that Mars is throwing at you so that you can gain from it. Okay, that makes sense. Now, so the next card that we're getting into is Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter speaks to gains, expansions, benefits. Jupiter is a very benefic planet along with Venus, but, you know, also like Venus, you know, it can have a really nasty downside if you don't use it properly. So with this card, we look at what area of life that the Jupiter transit is affecting. So remember, Jupiter is in Capricorn right now. Jupiter does not fuck with Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a planet of restriction and limitations and discipline. And Jupiter ain't trying to be restricted. Jupiter is not trying to be limited. Jupiter is not trying to be disciplined. Jupiter ain't trying to hear none of that shit. So Jupiter is already at its fall right now, and it's in a struggle dealing with Capricorn. So we're gonna see what area of your life that's affecting. All right. So it looks like the Empress in reverse here. So you guys are probably dealing with a Libra, or you are gonna get news of an unexpected pregnancy. And even in that, having news of an unexpected pregnancy is like, that's mind blowing in and of itself. So I'm hoping that it's the former, as far as like dealing with that Libra. You could be dealing with the Libra, more than likely a Libra female. This is either a person that you see in passing or a person that you deal with, regularly. And the fact that they're in the reverse shows me that, they're really more on like the bitchier end of that. They're more in that Libra toxic energy. So it's like their energy really is like causing you to feel it's like causing, already the tension is expanding. So the tension between you and this toxic Libra is expanding from what I'm getting, Scorpio. Or like the tension from an unexpected pregnancy, or an unexpected burden where you are forced to pay it attention, or it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to, you kind of got like a burden on your hands that you have to give attention, or it's gonna get even bigger if you don't give it your immediate attention, Scorpio. So that's what it's looking like. Jupiter is definitely bringing some type of feminine birth energy into your life, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So now going into Saturn, the next card is Saturn. The final position is Saturn. And with Saturn, like I said, Saturn is Father Time. Saturn is the granddaddy of discipline, the all-knowing, all-seeing father. He sees everything. Saturn is the dad that'll give you a spanking every day. He'll be like, I may not have seen you do it, but I know you did it, and you still getting the spanking. And so Saturn, restrictions, limitations. Saturn is a very malefic planet with very sweet gains, So Saturn really is that planet that's like, Saturn is that planet that's saying, I'm gonna take you through the ringer, but I'm also going to if you apply the lesson, and if you reflect enough, you will benefit from this, okay? And then you'll gain wisdom, and with wisdom you'll grow, and then you'll manifest even more than what you could have possibly imagined, is kind of how it works with Saturn. So with this card, we look at where and how the Saturn transit is affecting Scorpio. All right. So it looks like for Scorpio, it's Ace of Swords. For you guys, this is gonna be literally this is a manifestation. This is a beginning thought, a beginning concept. Some of you guys could literally be getting like an entire whole spiritual or mental awakening in the form of a mental breakdown. Like for some of you guys, this may be so intense that it can cause, like this combination in and of itself can be so intense that it would cause a breakdown, and in that breakdown you guys get like the biggest aha moment of your fucking life ever. And like that's usually how Saturn energy works. You know, it brings in some really hard lessons, it brings in sometimes some really tragic shit, and then like you literally get this huge silver lining. But Saturn is like, are you disciplined enough to grab it? And the silver lining here is the burst of clarity that's about to come in. Is Saturn's energy is going to be all in the clarity that you guys receive. So you're going to receive clarity completely in a way that you did not expect at all. But, you know, like I said, if you take it and you apply it and you utilize it and you find a way to be disciplined and work with it, Saturn will give you the rewards from it. Okay, so work with Saturn and Saturn works with you. All of the planets work with them and they work with you. You know, it's like I don't understand why people can't believe the concept that planets are also deities and gods too. So, you know, they have very powerful energy and they really do affect us. You know, if any of you guys are interested, like if you're really like into astrology or astronomy, I would go on YouTube and check out the sounds of the planets. Like all, like literally NASA has done recordings on all the different sounds that all of the different planets in our solar system make, as far out as they could reach at least. And I think Saturn is the furthest planet that they've recorded so far. So that was you guys' planetary times reading. This is just a sample reading. Like I said, a personal reading is much more in depth. If you guys are interested, click on my Squarespace below and book a personal reading with me, and we can go from there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave some feedback in the comments. If you guys like this, please press the like button. And I will talk to you guys later. I love you guys. Ashe. Follow me on Instagram. All right. I appreciate you guys. Bye.